Welcome back to Brit and Jacob the Movies. I am Jacob.
And I am Britton.
Alright, today we are going to be talking about yet another Pixar film, and me and Britton's childhood, one of our childhood favorite of ours, Monsters, Inc.
Oh, man.
Pete Docter himself.
Oh.
Oh boy, I am excited.
Oh, man, about time. We've been kind of dicking around with this for a while. He's like, almost a month ago now, he's like, we're going to watch Monsters, Inc. I'm like, awesome! And then, some shit came up, which, but, now we're doing it, so. I actually rewatched it for this occasion, and I'm like, oh boy, I hope I don't, forget stuff before before we get to this episode. But, what is there to say about Monsters, Inc.? It's hard for me to rank Pixar movies. The Incredibles is my favorite, that's for sure. I already talked about The Incredibles, so. And, the Toy Story movies are in there, but then I also really love Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. is probably, second or third. At least in the third category. Because, I don't know.
It's for sure in my top 5.
It's in my top 5 for sure, yeah.
At least in top 5, because, man, this was one of my childhood favorites, and it is everything. It's just the pinnacle of Pixar. It's a delightful story that has a sweet message that explores the creative question: why do kids claim that monsters come into their closet at night when they go to sleep? I just think it's a great concept, and it's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite animations of all time. Along with top tier voice acting and timeless animation for me personally. The animation holds up extremely well.
Were you about to say one of the greatest friendships in all of film? But we'll get to that.
Yes, we're gonna savor that flavor.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. This is based Monsters Inc. is This is basically like you said, the pinnacle of Pixar. This is what makes Pixar so great. They take these very childlike concepts, like monsters under our beds. This is kind of brilliant in its simplicity. It's just what if the monsters who lived under our bed lived like everybody else did?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fascinating. I love the world in this movie. I love the characters. I love the story. The voice acting is just impeccable. I love this movie. So many great moments that me and Jacob were quoting to each other while I was rewatching it. A lot of people might say Toy Story is their masterpiece, but I don't know. They've made a couple, and Monsters, Inc. is definitely one of them. I love this movie.
Oh man, Monsters, Inc. is one of my all-time childhood favorites. I remember it by heart. I remember just texting Britton 2319, yada yada yada, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm watching it again."
You kept texting me. I'm like, God damn it, I gotta watch this movie again, and it still holds up. It's still really good. It still holds up quite nicely.
I've always wanted to go back and revisit it because I've seen it a billion times, so I remember it by heart. But I just wanted to go back and rewatch it. For one, I love it, and secondly, I didn't want to miss anything. But rewatched it. It's at least in my top 5 for favorite Pixar of all time. At least in top 5 because I love it.
Yeah, this is when Pixar was in the zone. Monsters, Inc., Finding Nemo, Toy Story 1 and 2. Then we got The Incredibles. This is Pixar in their, very top prime. Not to say that Pixar has lost their prime or anything, but this is, when they were at their apex, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah, this is where they were on their A game. Spewing out classics, left and right.
A Bug's Life, I don't have as much fondness for that movie as I do for something like Monsters, Inc. or Finding Nemo or The Incredibles. I don't know. Maybe it's a preference thing. I don't know.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen A Bug's Life?
No, it's never caught my interest. So.
Oh well, it's a fun movie. It's just like I said, despite a really great performance from Kevin Spacey as a Hopper. It never really captured me like some of the other movies did.
Yeah. One where I was like, I gotta watch it immediately.
Yeah, I know. It's, even, later stuff like Soul, just Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was thinking the other day, you were talking to me about Glass Onion, the new Knives Out movie, which I didn't get around to seeing because I've been busy this week.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what would have been a good Thanksgiving movie? I think of it as a Thanksgiving movie. I know there's probably other people who might not think of it as a Thanksgiving movie, but Knives Out, I think it's a Thanksgiving movie.
I think so too.
It's probably because I saw it around It came out at Thanksgiving, and I saw it then, and it just has that atmosphere where you're like, yeah, this is a thing. It's gonna be like Die Hard. We're gonna argue forever it's gonna be a Thanksgiving movie or not.
It is. I think it is.
Hashtag is Knives Out a Thanksgiving movie. We're gonna make that a hashtag.
Oh, another debate. Another Die Hard debate.
Oh, jeez. But back to Monsters, Inc. I love this movie. Like, I love it. It's so much greatness in this. I love it. It's so good.
I love everything about it. It's a damn near perfect movie.
Oh my god.
It's perfect in my eyes.
It's so good. Like, again, it's one of Pixar's best, if you ask me. Like this, Finding Nemo, Toy Story movies, and The Incredibles. Like, that's like the holy quadrilogy of Pixar movies.
Indeed. This film has characters that you love so much, you want to see more of them, and top-tier voice acting, and top-tier animation for its time, and it still holds up to this day.
I was about to say, yeah, the animation still holds up, really. I was watching it, again a few weeks ago, and I'm like, wow, this really holds up nicely, Like, you'd think there'd be some cracks in there, but nope, not at all. Still holds up nicely.
And also the freaking music.
Oh my god. I love the music so much. Randy Newman, man, that guy is like the John Williams of Pixar.
He really is. Never misses a beat.
Yeah, he's done other movies, but he really gained his he also did Princess and the Frog, which is a very underrated Disney movie.
I agree.
One of the best villains in my opinion.
That's a fact.
Oh my god. We gotta talk about the Princess and the Frog. I'm getting Carlton on for that episode. Because he loves that movie too. Because we love to talk about how much we love that movie. But yeah, I love Monsters Inc. It's a great movie. Like, what do you think, Jacob? That you haven't said already.
Oh, everything that I've said about Monsters Inc. is exactly what I'm thinking about it, and also a film that tugs at your heartstrings. It makes me cry like a little bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Which Pixar is good at doing. Damn you, Pixar.
They love to tickle those heartstrings, make you laugh and make you cry. Not really much else to say.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But yeah, Monsters Inc. Not really much else to say. I love this movie. One of Pixar's best. It's one of those films. If I ever thought of if I could depict why Pixar is so great in one movie, it would be Monsters Inc.
Oh, absolutely.
Just if I could recommend one, if someone asked me the question, Britton, what makes Pixar why is Pixar a great animation company? Monsters Inc. That would be the first movie that would pop to my head. Well, maybe The Incredibles, but Monsters Inc. would definitely be in there.
Oh, mine too. Monsters Inc., that's all I need to say. Just go and watch it and you'll see why.
And if you're not convinced, then you're wrong. But, yeah, I remember watching this when I was a kid and just, this is one of the, Pixar and, Star Wars was some of the first films that really captured my imagination. Well, that and Batman the Animated Series. So that's part of the Holy Trinity
Oh, yes.
of stuff that inspired me to love movies and whatnot. But yeah, I love Monsters, Inc. There's not really much else to say.
Oh, no. Day has finally come.
Indeed, yeah. I was like, damn, when are we going to cover this movie? There were some other films I wanted to talk about in November, but, it's too late now. We're already in Christmas time, so you know what that means. But we'll get to that. Alright, let's dive into Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
I'll let you start first. How does this movie start, Jacob?
All right, it starts out with this very fun opening.
I love that music.
Me too. Man, the music in this is so good, and I love this opening scene. They originally were gonna start it very dark and on how like the whole world works and all that, but they decided to throw this in there to make kids excited for this and not start off like, oh, we're not gonna like this. This is too dark.
They didn't want to scare the kids too much in this movie.
No, but man, I love the opening credits, the music, and the way the opening credits style. I love everything about it. So after the opening credits, we see a kid go to bed. Says night, mom. They good night and all that. And then we see some shadows, and then we see some red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see monster raising up. It's about to scare the kid. And then the kid screams, and then the
which scares the monster.
It scares the monster, and then he trips on some toys, and you're like, "What the fuck's going on?"
I love it.
And then you realize it's just a test, and it's just a test.
Yeah.
Simulation terminated.
Yeah, he's like, guys, what did they do wrong? And then the rest of them are just like sitting there like me when I'm like when I'm in college listening to like a math lecture. I'm just like, what was that? But she goes, what did they do wrong? And they're just like, oh jeez. And then they talk about that, and then that's when we meet Mr. Waternoose, who's like he's like a spider creature.
Essentially, yeah. I just call him a big spider.
Yeah, he's basically a big spider. he's a big bug kind of character. But yeah, I love the opening scene. It's just like, it's so sinister, and you're thinking it's gonna be like a jump scare. And then when the kid just screams, and then the monster his red eyes just go away instantly, and he just starts screaming like a lunatic. He falls, hits the accidentally slips on a soccer ball. Hits the soccer ball, and the soccer ball hits him in the face, and then he, like, lands on some, what does he land on? It's like those, what do they call those? Damn it. I don't know, but whatever they are, it's it makes me laugh. He just goes, ah! It's just, ugh.
Just imagine all the kids just watching that sinister opening scene. Starts out very sinister, then they realize, okay, sigh of relief. Okay, this is the kids' film. So.
It's a great opening. I mean, it's just like a great setup to what this movie is, which is basically, what if the monsters who lived under your bed, what if they just lived like everyone else did, and they have to deal with normal problems like an energy crisis or mortgage, or going out on dates, or, what deodorant they're gonna wear while they're out on a date. That's what I love the most about Monsters, Inc. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah. That's what I love about Pixar. They take these, like, concepts that would never, like, work well together, but then you get Pixar, and their execution is all about execution. That's our motto on here. And
are we gonna make the t-shirts?
Indeed. That'll be our first merch. That'll be our first teacher remake. But anyway, yes, and they take these two concepts that would never really work when you think about it, but with Pixar, and they execute it very well, and they make some of the greatest animation of all time.
But, oh yeah, most definitely. And I mean, again, this movie just captures what makes Pixar so brilliant. I mean, you watch this, and you hear this idea, and you think, that's dumb, this isn't gonna work, who's gonna watch this? And then you watch, and you're like, huh, that was actually really good. Okay.
Like, this was very clever.
This is actually really clever and well done. And, well written. Maybe. But, I digress.
Mm-hmm.
But, I digress. So then he comes in and goes like, okay, he comes in, I forget exactly what he says, but he just starts going off like, yeah, to be a scarer, it's one of the most important jobs. You gotta do it well. like James P. Sullivan, and then that's when we meet. One of my favorite just friendships in all of film. Just
Yes.
can I just mention that I forget exactly what Mike says, but it's him sleeping and then Mike's like talking. He's like, "Oh, it's a beautiful day, and you know it's a bright early morning, and this log is gonna get out of bed." And he just goes and he shoots the horn at him, and he goes, "Ah, ah!"
Get up, Sully!
He's like, "God, what?" And then they do the exercise, scary feet. Oh, kid's gritting up, and he drops on the ground.
I believe I ordered a wake-up call, Mikey. Hey, let's talk more pain, Marshmallow.
But yeah, I love their friendship. Just like if I ever had like favorite friendships like in movies, like this would probably be in the top 5 somewhere. Maybe my personal favorite.
Oh, it's like top, like number 2 at least, because like I love their friendship so much. It makes you want to see more of them together on screen.
Oh
or
yeah.
any sort of thing, because man, I love them so much.
So yes, we do meet Sully, played by the eternally underappreciated John Goodman, and Mike Wazowski, played by the ever so talented Billy Crystal, and I love them together. The chemistry between these two guys is impeccable. I mean, I don't know how they do, like, I know sometimes they voice act like outside, but even then, like, there's just so much chemistry between these two, and I mean, I don't know if they like were in the same room when they recorded all their dialogue or anything, but they play off of each other so well. Like, they argue, they get in the fight, you know, they have their little, you know, they butt heads, but, you know, they still got each other's back.
Yeah, that's exactly what friendship is.
It's just like, it's just one of those, like, where I'm like, damn, I want to have a friendship like that, you know? It's one of those.
Like, it's so realistic, because, like, they argue, they disagree, but at the end of the day, they'll always have each other's backs, and they still love each other as friends.
Like, you know, they rib each other, you know, they have their thing, they have their little in-jokes, you know. You know, like how Mike's very proud of his car that he can't drive throughout the movie.
But Sully's like, what's wrong with your old car?
He's like, well, nope, we're gonna walk today, and he's like, no.
You need the exercise. Come on. It's like, you want to own the car?
But yeah, so you get their dynamic very quickly. Clearly, Mike is the brains behind the operation, and Sully, I mean, he's not dumb or anything, but you know, he's definitely the big guy. You know, he's the money.
Oh yes.
But they're a very well-oiled machine to the point where they're just great. I love them.
Oh yes, and John Goodman, Billy Crystal, phenomenal.
Oh my god! Like, again, I don't know if because I know that sometimes they record in like separate booths, but again, it's like I don't know if they recorded in the same room or anything like that. But again, just the chemistry is undeniable.
Oh, I know. Just from how we're meeting them. Come on, fight that plaque. Scary monsters don't have plaque.
I also love how the monsters are afraid of the children. They think they're toxic, and like I love how Water News is like a child is the most dangerous thing on the.
Great switcheroo. The monsters are scared of the children.
Yeah, I know. It's just like every idea they threw at this movie is just so fun, and
it's like instead of having children being scared of the monsters, let's have the monsters be scared of the children.
Though they do scare the children, and I love how scaring the children is like a job. Like that's their big economic, you know, that's like their economic, you know, resource is the screams of the children.
Yeah, and it keeps their electricity on, and just their entire world just like functioning.
Oh my gosh, and just how
like scaring children.
Yeah, it's literally like their economic resource, and I love it. And
yes,
we'll get more into that because I really love how they play with that aspect of it.
Oh yes.
But yeah, just like I love the world of this movie.
Me too.
So after their little training montage, They end up walking, and there's an energy crisis. So, despite Mike wanting to drive his car so badly, Sully's like, "Nah, you need the exercise." He's like, "No, wait, I want to drive it, my sweetheart. No." Yeah, it's like, I love it.
Baby, I'll call you.
He's like, "Nope." And he like picks him up. He picks him up, and but yeah, so I love that. I love how they're walking around. There's so many just like different, like the kids are like playing with the little jump rope kid, and then like one of them flies into just gigantic eye, and he's like, "Hey, watch it." And then there's that like really big guy. I think he's the boogeyman or something, and they're like, "Hey, Boogie, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey," and every time I see that, I always think, because I had the VHS, because yes, I did grow up in that era. There were the bloopers, like literal bloopers that they put in the movie, not just the actor, no, like literal like if they made a movie in this world, this is the movie they would make, and
yes,
and I love the bloopers, like, and one of them is Rex from Toy Story. He's one of the monsters. He's like, "Roar!" I forget exactly what he says, but it's just I love it.
They need to go back to that. Have it bloopers in their world, in their Pixar world, instead of just like actors in the bloopers.
Oh, my favorite one is when he goes into the closet and he's like, "Well, there's no one there, you see," and then he opens it, Roz is there, and she's like, "Nah." He's like, scares the shit out of him.
You finished now? Hello.
It's like, oh, gee, and he's like, "Hey." But I'm getting ahead of myself. So they end up walking to work, and they end up meeting these like two nerdy guys who are like super into Sully, because like Sully, he's the best at scaring children. I guess despite his friendly demeanor, he can be quite scary when his buttons are pushed.
Indeed. Want to make sure you're on his good side.
Well, yeah. But no, aside from him being the best scarer of the group, he's actually a pretty laid-back, cool guy, so, you know, it's all good. And he's pretty much, he's well regarded by everybody. There's those two nerdy guys who are like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Sullivan, sorry." He's like, "Shut up."
Go get him, Mr. Sullivan. Stop it, you're making him lose his focus. Oh, sorry, shut up.
Yeah, no. They end up walking, and then they end up, is this where we meet Randall, or is that later in the movie?
No, this is where you meet, Mike's fiance.
Oh, yes. Mike's fiance. She's also calls Mike Googly Bear, which is just, oh boy. Oh boy. And I love how Sully's just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, this again."
Like, ooh.
He's just like, "Jesus
Silly
Christ."
Willy. Oh, hey, silly, Willie.
Yeah, I know, he hates it. He's just like, oh. You know, I watched this, and I watched, like, Monsters... Did you see Monsters University?
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of that movie?
Pretty good prequel. Nowhere near as good as the first, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's a solid one, you know, it's I didn't really think it was necessary. I'm like, I would have rather seen, like, a sequel, like, what happened after that, but, you know, this is me.
Yeah, but pretty good, yeah.
But, yeah, so, Mike is about to go on a date with his girlfriend for their anniversary, I think, or something like that. Someone's getting... he had some paperwork. I think this is where we also meet Roz, who is literally the show stealer of this movie. I love her. I used to do impressions of her when I was younger. You're not gonna hear it here, or maybe you will. But you know, I'm not. I love how she's always giving him a hard time about the paperwork, and Mike's just trying to smooze her, and she's just like completely unimpressed with him.
Wazowski, you didn't file your paperwork last night.
He's like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that. You know, it's just like,
Wouldn't it be easier if they all just move away? Don't let it happen again.
I love how she slams it on his fingers. He just goes, ah! Poor Mike. He gets shat on in this movie a lot. Like,
quite a bit.
Yeah. He's like a little ogre. I don't know what he is. He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
That's why he's not the scarer. He's the brains of the operation. Yeah, so, Water News holds Sully in high regard, and Sully is just kind of like, oh, well, you know, it's no big deal, you know, he's just a good guy, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, Mike decides he's like, ah, crap, the paperwork, and then Sully's like, you know what, I got it, because, you know, Sully's a good friend. He's like, you know what, I got it, you know, I'll get it for you, you can go on your date. He's like, oh, thank you, man. Or he doesn't really, like, he does it in a fun way. I forget exactly what it is. He's like, oh, yeah, the paperwork. I forgot to put in some stuff for the paperwork. And he just kind of does the whole, I got you.
Oh, you're kind of getting ahead of yourself.
Oh, sorry, am I?
Yeah, this is where we see how the whole scaring children works.
Oh, yeah. That also reminds me of the bloopers, because there's that scene where they're all, like, walking in, and they all just trip on themselves.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. It has to be, but I remember that very clearly from the copy of Monsters, Inc. that I owned from when I was a kid. Maybe I still have it. Hold on, let me check. I don't see it, but maybe I'll check later. But, you know. But, yeah, I love seeing how it works. They have, like, this little system. They put in a door, and it just, like... And it's like they, and they can go into the human world and scare children. And apparently, Mike and Sully are about to get a high-scoring record. They're about to get a record.
Oh, yes. Because they're the best.
Yeah, and much to the chagrin of their friend Randall, or their rival Randall, who's really squinty, played by the great character actor Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, Randall's a great villain. He's so slimy, and, you know, he's kind of like a gecko, or a lizard person.
Kind of a chameleon.
Yeah, a chameleon, that's a better word. He's like a chameleon lizard man? Yeah, that's it. And, do we meet Randall before the thing, or after?
We meet him before.
Oh, okay. I like when we first meet Randall. He Mike's trying to like shut his locker, and they have like deodorants, like Wet Dog.
Yes, I got smelly garbage or old dumpster. A wet dog.
Or wet. He's like, you have any Wet Dog? And I'm like, oh my god. They thought so much into this. I'm envious. Like, really.
The attention to detail.
The attention to detail is just insane in this movie.
I know. God.
Oh, my lord. Alright, I'll let you take it on when they actually meet Randall.
Alright.
I want you to take over for a minute.
Alrighty. So, Mike and Sully are in the locker room, getting ready. And, Mike's trying to close the door, but keeps opening back up. Then he tries to close it, and then it's Randall. He's like, "What the hell's scaring Mike?" And then we meet Randall, who is one of my favorite Pixar villains. He's extremely, as Britton said, very slimy, but extremely entertaining at the same time. Voiced amazingly by Steve Buscemi. And then he said, what do you know? It scares little kids and little monsters. And then Mike said, oh, I wasn't scared. It was just allergies. And Randall's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So Randall is like, oh, I'm gonna get the highest score. I'm gonna be the top scarer. And then this is where we finally see how it all works out. how they scare children, how the whole system works. So essentially, all these stores come down to these different groups of these different children, and the monsters who scare all of them go in there and do their job, and whoever's the most scariest will be the top scarer. And Randall is trying to do this, and actually he does become the new scare leader for a while.
For like a couple of minutes. More like a couple of minutes. And then Sully's like, "Oops, sorry." Like, it's funny because he's not even like trying. He's just like, "Look, I'm just doing my job, you know. I'm not like trying to be the best or anything. It's just, you know." And then he's just scaring him, you know.
Yep. Funny enough, the reason why is because Sully got a room where they were having a slumber party.
Oh yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. He's like, "Oh yeah, slumber party, woo!" And I love how Mike's just like, "You're on fire today," and he's like, "Yeah," you know.
The voiceover's like, "Oh, never mind."
The voiceover's like, "Never mind. Sully has the record today," and Randall's like, "God damn it!"
Shock! Surprise! Surprise!
I love how he like tries to be friendly to Randall, and Randall's just like, "Yeah, fuck you."
He's like, "Hey, may the best monster win." Oh, I planned to.
Yeah, and his poor Fungus, isn't that the guy's name? Poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's one of those villains. He's like super, like yeah, he's kind of a weasel, but you kind of can't help but feel bad for him because he just gets shat on a lot. He's like he's like Mike with worse luck.
Yes, he is.
Actually, one of my favorite scenes has Fungus in it, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Oh, I never stopped.
I was about to say, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. But continue what you were saying, Jacob.
So, after Sully takes back his record, Mr. Waternews comes and talks to him, and I can't remember exactly what they were talking about.
I love that disgusting sludge coffee. It's like, that looks... it looks disgusting. You're just like,
It's like, is it even coffee? But I don't really want to know.
I'm like, yeah, I don't want to know what it is.
This is the monster world, so it's probably something disgusting.
But continue what you were saying. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just remember that little detail. Just like, that coffee looks kind of weird. I don't even like coffee.
No,
so.
I don't think it is coffee.
I don't think it is coffee either.
Coffee's not that thick. But can't remember exactly what they said. But after that, this is where Mike tells Sully, "Hey, I forgot to file my paperwork or something like that because he's going to go to the restaurant for his fiance's birthday."
Oh yeah, it's her birthday. I thought it was like their anniversary or something.
Oh, it's her birthday.
Yeah.
But then Raza comes up, it's like, "Hey, you didn't finish your paperwork. Your silence is very reassuring." And then Sully, like any Fred would, helps Mike out. And he's staying late, and he's checking all the paperwork. Then he realized there's a door. And he's like, "Hey, is there a door? There's a door here. Anybody scary in here?"
I will say one of the details I like from Monsters Inc. that was from Monsters University is that Randall used to wear glasses, so that's why he squints all the time because he can't see very well.
Oh, nice detail.
But yeah, that's just, I don't know. I didn't mean to bring that up. I just when he does that, when he has to evade Randall and he like sneezes and he's just like his eyes are all squinty, just makes me think of that. But continue what you were saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
Oh, you're all good. You're all good. This is where we meet Boo, the child of this movie. She's playing with Sully's tail, and then Sully immediately freaks out.
Yeah, no. Played by Mary Gibbs, who was actually like the daughter of one of the people who worked on the movie or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of her dialogue is just her going meow 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 meow, or Kitty! And everyone just goes, ah!
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love, oh, Lord. But yeah, that's where he meets Boo. I love how she's super sneaky. She, like, crawls on his back. He's like, ha! And he, like, walks back. There she is. And he's like, ha! 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 Again, I love how the monsters are scared of the children as much as the children are scared of the monsters.
Oh, I forgot the funniest thing about this movie, or one of the funniest things.
Oh, yeah.
2319!
Oh, my God. Yeah. Poor guy. George, George, he gets a sock on him, and then his mic sees it, and he's like, 2319! 2319! And then, like, a bunch of, like, guys in hazmat suits come in, and, oh, my Lord, it's...
So much for George and I are like brothers. Like, damn, that's what you do, your brother? George and I are like brothers. Oh, 2319!
Yeah, I love that. And they, like, shave him, and he's all, like, naked afterwards. He's like, yeah. He gets, like, one of those dog collars. You're just like, oh, my Lord, this movie's amazing.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I love how Monstropolis it's a world. Like, it's literally, like, it is a world.
Yes, indeed.
Like, it feels like a real functioning place.
Just with monsters.
Yeah, just with monsters.
With sluggish coffee.
Yeah. And deodorants that say wet dog and smelly garbage. An old dumpster. Oh, God, I love this movie.
Oh, me too.
Oh, man. Yeah, but, yeah. Oh, where are we? Oh, yes, doesn't he try to flush her stuff down the toilet?
Yeah, but it doesn't work. Then he just throws it into a locker.
So, yeah, he just throws it into a locker, which turns out to be George's locker, by the way. He gets 2319'd again after that. Poor guy.
That continues.
But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But, so yeah, this is where we meet Boo, played by Mary Gibbs, and I guess they never thought of her real name, so they just used the real name of the actress.
Clever.
It's just like, it's... Monsters Inc. is one of those movies kind of like something like The Truman Show, where I think a sequel, yes, if done right, I think could be really interesting. Because,
Indeed.
Because, Boo and Sully, or Kitty, as she later calls him, because he does look like a cat.
He does. A big cat.
Yeah, he's basically like a big cat monster or something like that. I don't know, but he's Oh yeah, I forgot. There's that running gag where Mike is like, they see the commercial, and Mike's face gets blocked out. But don't worry, he's still excited that he got on TV, if only for a couple of seconds.
You think he'll be? I can't believe it. He's like, oh my! I was on
TV. I know. He's like, I gotta call everybody. He calls like Sully's mom on the phone.
Hey, it's your mom. Yeah, I know.
He's like, yeah, I know. It was great. It's like, and Sully's like, I don't know. I don't know anymore with this guy.
Like, oh, Mikey.
Oh, Mikey. Oh man, where were we? Oh yes. So, wait, where were we?
He's still trying to get rid of Boo.
Oh yeah, he's trying to get rid of Boo.
He puts her in a bag, and then he immediately goes to Mike to talk about it.
He puts her in a bag. He goes to get Mike, who will definitely be pleased by this new.
Oh yes, he will be.
By this new by this new little skirt in their plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, alright, so we go to the restaurant, and there's, like, a bunch of people there, and it's, like, it's very lively, and the chef is, like, this, like, octopus squid monster thing that is, like, cutting up the meat, and I'm like, I think, that food would look scrumptious, but, considering all the other stuff that Monsters, Inc. has, I probably don't want to eat that, because it might be dangerous to me.
The sluggish coffee lost my appetite.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it looks like liquid diarrhea. It's just like, ugh, what is that?
I think it is diarrhea.
Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. So, yeah, I love Pig Latin. My grandma taught me how to use Pig Latin. He goes, it can't look away in the Ag Bay. He's like, what? And he's like, oh, there's nothing. And then, and then Boo gets up and just goes around, and then she goes, boo! And everyone just goes, ah! Everyone just starts free. It's a whole, I love this scene. I love it. It's just everyone's chaos. Everyone's running around. Mike and Sully are like, "Oh my lord, what is going on here?" Then the cops show up, and then the hazmat guys show up. They're part of this group called the CDA. Oh my god, it's hilarious. They're called the Child Detection Agency, the CDA. They're great. I love how they, put, a force field around it, but, again, I'm getting ahead of myself. People start getting arrested, and then they're, running away. He's like, well, thanks, man. Now you just blew up my date. And then he's like, how could this get any worse? And then the force field goes around the restaurant. I love the reaction to, shit.
I don't think I could have gotten any worse.
I love those gags when it's like, oh, I can't get any worse, and it just blows up, and I spoke too soon.
They should have put that in the action movie. That would have took a dark turn.
That probably would have been a little too dark for the children. Like, what happened to the monsters? It's like, oh, don't worry.
They all died.
They all died.
Like this.
Jeez. Jeez. So, yeah, they end up taking her home. I love the news report. Oh my god, it is so funny. He's like, so I saw this thing and it shook me around like a dog. He's like, I saw the whole thing! It's just...
It is my for sure opinion that now is the time to panic!
Yeah. I love that hick alien who's like, yeah, I tried to get away, but it picked me up with her psychic powers and shook me like a dog. And it's like...
It's true! I saw the whole thing!
Yeah. And they're just like, and I love how Mike and Sully are in it's almost like they're there's germs or something, and they're he has his hazmat on, or he has his kitchen mitts on, and she's running around, she's chasing him around, they're like, ah! It's so good. I love it.
Constantly spraying everything down, whatever she touches.
Yeah, they spray it, and then she touches Mike. He's like, ah! And he just shoots himself in the eye with I don't know. I think it's Lysol.
Some disinfectant.
Their version of Lysol.
It could be just letting ass juice or something. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't want to know. In all honesty, I don't want to know. Considering what.
I don't want to know either.
But Sully ends up realizing, oh wait, this kid, this kid is actually not dangerous. Oh, okay. And she ends up crying, and I love how he takes his doll. Mike has a doll, and she tries to take it, and he's all like, hey, that's mine, and she just gets all. And then she starts crying, and then he falls into a trash can and just gets hit by I forget. He gets his DVDs in his mouth, and then he gets hit in the head with his boombox. And it shoots out the lights, and he's like, what the heck was that? And he comes over. I have no idea. But let's make sure not let that happen again.
I love how Sully sings to her while she's crying, and then she's kind of calms down. But once she touches him, he's like, ah, ah, then she starts crying again.
Oh no! Yeah, poor. She starts crying again. Again, I just think it's so funny how the monsters are afraid of the kids.
I know. So hilarious.
I also love when he throws the, like, Fruit Loops. I don't know what they're called, Monsters, Inc. I'm just calling them Fruit Loops, because they're fucking Fruit Loops, okay? And I guess that they are as scrumptious as they are in our world, because she's eating them, and she doesn't seem like she's sick from it. So,
if Boo's eating them, then apparently there's something not disgusting in their world.
hopefully none of their stuff, maybe not all of their stuff tastes bad. Maybe not everything's like the sludge.
Yeah, it's not coffee.
Oh, God. Is that just gonna be a running gag? Just, it's not the coffee. If you know, you know.
I was gonna keep that running. Yeah, the slug from Monsters Inc. That's not coffee.
Oh, jeez. But I love how she falls asleep. It turns out that Randall is her monster. That dick.
Like coincidence.
But yeah, he's coincidence? I think not.
Not.
Oh yeah, that was a reference to another Pixar movie.
Wait.
The Incredibles. He's like, coincidence? I think not. It's the Ratatouille
Randall
guy.
is your monster.
He's like, oh yeah, He's like, oh, Randall's your monster. It's like, well, don't worry. I don't think any monsters are gonna. And I'm like, look, no one's in the closet. And he looks in. He's like, and then he steps in. He's like, well, okay, I'm in here, but I'm not gonna scare you, okay?
I'm off duty.
I'm off duty. Yeah. And yeah, so it turns out the human children are not toxic, and their laughter is actually might be more powerful than the scares, which we'll play into that later.
Yes.
So Sully's like, okay, how the hell? I like how Mike's just like, how the hell are we gonna manage to get her out of here and we get her door back and whatever? And then he sees like Mike's couch or Mike's chair, and he's like, all right. And he makes the suit out of her chair. And but yeah, and he's like, I can't believe you did that to my chair. He's like, look, I'll make it up to you, all right? Just be natural. And he's like, then they walk in. CDAs everywhere, and they're just like, oh, Jesus, this is going to be more tough than we thought.
Okay.
Walks in, everybody's everywhere, just like, oh, God. we're doomed.
Like, oh, this just got worse.
Oh, jeez. He's like, we're doomed. But, so they try to send out her door, and he's all like, you know, Jacob, I'll let you take it from here. What happens next? I'm like, I just blanked.
Okay. So, Boo, in her monster costume that they made from Mike's chair, goes up to Mr. Waternoose, and he's like, oh, hello, little one. Where'd you come from? And then Sully makes up some sort of and he's like, he says, oh, this is my cousin's sister's daughter. And then I think, oh yes, we see, what is Mike Wazowski's fiance's name? I can't remember her name, but
I know Jennifer Tilly plays her, but I forget her name.
Yes.
Celia.
Yes, Celia. Yes, that's her name. Celia. She's all pissed. She's like in a net cast. She's like, that's the worst night I've ever had. Bar none.
Yeah, it's like I love how her little snakes are like really pissed off too.
Nice.
And he's like, look, I'll make it up to you. Look, I had a stressful night last night, okay?
I thought you liked sushi.
It's like, wait, what'd you say?
Mike says, I'm sorry, Boo, I thought you liked sushi. Then she's like, sushi? You think this is about sushi?
Oh, jeez. I like how she's in, again, that, like, dog, like, that thing you give the dogs, that dog brace.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. God, I love this film.
Me too.
Yeah, can you believe it? You know, I'm a little side tangent. Can you believe it's already been a year since we did our epic Spider-Man run?
I know. It's been a year now. It's crazy.
This time last year, like this is when we started that's when maybe a few weeks ago, around this time last year we started our Spider-Man-a-thon, which is I think some of the best Brit and Jake episodes, in my opinion, anyway.
Oh yes.
Or at least some of my favorites to go back and watch, because I just
Especially that one, which you won't name here.
Oh jeez. Yeah, no. But anyways, Jacob, continue where you were at.
Okay, so Sully grabs Boo back, and he starts talking to Mr. Wanda's to kind of distract him and all that. And
is this where he loses track of Boo when they go to the or when she has to go to the bathroom?
Oh yes. They go to the locker room, and this is where.
Oh.
And then I love how Sully's like, she can't stand here. This is the men's room. And then Mike looks at him just like he's a crazy man, and he just says, "That is the strangest thing you've said all day."
Yeah.
And then Boo needs to go to the bathroom. Sully thinks she's just doing this weird dance. And he's like, "Oh, I like that. That's funny." And then he realized, like, oh.
And then he's just standing there. He's like, "Hey, are you done?"
While she's singing.
She's like, yeah, I forget. She's singing something. I'm like,
so you finished now? Hello? And then she's not there.
And he's like, oh shit.
It's like, oh, you want to play hide and seek?
Yeah. I also like how he calls her Boo, and then Mike's like, did you give it a name? And he's like, yeah, she goes by Boo. He's like, oh, he's defensive about it, and he's all like, bro, you can't give it a name, because that means you're attached to it.
That's why I'm deciding to call her. Is there a problem? This isn't Boo's store. Boo? What's a Boo?
Oh, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's later.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mike goes to Raza, and he's doing his flirtatious thing where he's like, hey, is that a new haircut? Tell me, that's a new haircut, is it? I thought it was a new haircut.
Like how she's just standing there, just unimpressed at him.
She's like, well, isn't that nice? Guess what? You didn't turn in your paperwork last night. And he's like, oh, wait, what? This office is now closed. And then she slams.
Oh, she slams on his fingers.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, Mike is just not having a good day, and he's not happy at Sully at the moment.
No, it's miserable for Mike so far. And then Sully and Boo are still playing hide and seek. Then Sully's like, "Oh, where are you? Be by foe."
And Mike's just like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I'm looking for the kid. You lost it? Then she runs back. Since she's crying, and we're like, why she's crying? They realize, oh, Randall's in there. And they're hiding from Randall.
Oh my gosh, that scene is so intense. I'm like, damn, it's really intense. I remember even when I was a kid, I was like, he's like, oh shit.
When he slams the bathroom door open, and you're like, oh shit.
And then Fungus is like, oh, Mr. Boggs, and he's like, shut up. He looks around, shoots all the doors open. You're like, oh god. Oh.
It's like, oh shit, it's getting intense.
Yeah, I love how he shoots it open. He goes like, shut up, and he shoots it open, and then there they are right there, and he doesn't see him. It's just like, ah, oh, great.
Like, once I find them, they're dead. Then Mike accidentally slips into the toilet, or his foot into the toilet.
Yeah, his foot goes in the toilet. You're like, oh. Oh. Oh, man.
At least it wasn't the sludge.
Oh, God. We're really into that sludge right now.
We really are.
Oh, jeez. Oh, so they end up, I forget what else they're doing. I forget how Randall figures out. Doesn't he see Mike? Doesn't he see the toilet paper off of Mike's leg? That's how he realizes, like, oh. Or so. Oh, no, he sees it on the TV. That's right. Or he sees it on the magazine. He's like, Wazowski.
Oh, yes. Sees Mike Wazowski on a magazine.
He sees his eyeball. He's like, oh, of course.
I think this is the part where we get to put that thing back where it came from.
Oh yeah. You know what, Jacob? I'll let you take this one. This is I'll let you take that one. Tell us what happens.
Okay. So after Sully names Boo her name that he's given her, and Mike says all that. Once you name it, you get attached to it. Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. And then everyone looks at them. They're like, "What?" And Mike tries to think of something, and he's like, "Oh, hey, we're rehearsing a musical. It's that one called Put That Thing Back Where It Came From, or So Help Me." Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. And then Sully plays along like bump, 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 bump.
I love it. And then later, when Randall figures out that, oh, Wazowski's there, he has to know something about it. And he goes, he's like, Wazowski! He's like, oh, shit! And he goes all like, he's like, where's the kid? He's like, where's the kid? He's like, well, what about that little incident? He's like, and then he starts singing. He's like, shut up!
Oh, yeah. He's like, what are you two doing? They're rehearsing a play. She's out of our hair.
Gotta love that bad singing.
Me too. Music to my ears. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah, no.
So help me. So help me.
It's like, it's for a work musical. He's like, oh, Jesus. Jesus. So Mike makes a deal with, Mike ends up making a deal with, Randall, which is a terrible idea, but you know, I'm like, that is one of the moments where I'm like, you know, you don't like Randall, and Randall, he doesn't like you. So why in the hell would you expect him to? You already know he was cheating at the thing, trying to get that record. Why the hell would you trust him in this? Like, why would you think Mike's just like, yes, Randall, that guy who really doesn't like it. Yeah, he's trustworthy, right? He's gonna do his side of the bargain.
He's very trustworthy.
Yeah, I know.
Never judge a book by his cover. He may seem like a slimy son of a bitch, but in reality, he really isn't. But he actually is.
Yeah, just deep down, he's a great guy. You know, it's not like we had a little spat in college and he never let it go. You know, it's.
Yeah.
Let's remember our time together in college. That is one of the things I'm like, why the hell would Mike trust that Randall was going to put on his end of the bargain?
Yeah, out of all people, I would have trusted Raza over Randall.
I would have trusted Roz over Randall, and it's just like...
It's just so weird.
Out
of all the people, I'm trusting Randall.
I mean, I'll admit, I will say that I'll give it this. Maybe Mike was just so desperate to get rid of Boo that he just didn't care. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to go with this. Probably not a good idea, but, you know, I just want to be rid of Boo, right? That's what that's the only way I can justify it, because any other way, I'm like, Randall, really? You really think he's going to fulfill his end of the bargain? No!
Like, no. But Mike is desperate. He'll just trust anybody to do whatever it takes to get rid of Boo and have their lives go back to the way they were. Everything go back to normal.
Now, though, to be fair, I don't think it would have worked if they both have just gone into it like, oh yeah, Randall, you know, this is gonna be fine. I love how Sully is the one who's like, Mike, I don't like this. You made a deal with Randall. He's like maybe. He's like, no. I love how, you know, I mean, I like how Sully, he tries to be nice to Randall, but, you know, he's not stupid. He knows that Randall is probably not gonna, there's a catch to this. He doesn't like
Yeah.
this.
I try to be friendly with everyone, but I know that you shouldn't trust Randall.
Yeah, Randall's kind of a worm. I don't like... This smells like a trap. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? He just... I love Mike. He just goes... He goes in the booze room, jumps on the bed, and then... Totally
Like,
didn't see this coming with his one eye.
Not at all.
Oh my
Not
god.
at all.
It was such a shock, you know, he's just like jumping around, and then...
My jaw was on the floor when I first
Oh,
watched
yeah,
it.
I know. He just... Oh, jeez, you know. Just...
Mike's like, everything's fine. Let me go in and show you. Then he gets captured.
And then he just gets captured. I'm like, oh, who didn't... It's like that scene from South Park where Stan just goes, well, who didn't see that coming? You know?
Oh, apparently none of us did. We were all shocked.
But yeah, I love how it's Sully who just goes, I don't like this. We should probably go talk to Water Noose. And they're like, and Mike's like, bro, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna walk in there. I'm gonna because you know, Mike's really headstrong. So he's all like, you know what? I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna prove it to you. Goes in there, just jumps on the bed, and he gets captured. I'm just like, yeah, who didn't see this coming? Like,
Oh, Mike Wazowski.
Jesus. But yeah, I remember that kind of creeped me out when I was a kid. I was like, oh, look at this. And he gets grabbed. It's like, oh, no. He got
He's
kidnapped.
like, no, not Mike. Because I was so in love with these characters, like, I was scared that anything would happen to them.
I know.
Like, please don't.
I know. And,
I swear to God, don't.
but yeah, I just think it's funny. You're just like, Mike. Again, the only way I can justify this is that he was just so desperate to get rid of Boo that he just wasn't thinking about it. And he was just, because, that happens. You sometimes are so desperate to do something that you kind of just abandon common sense for a minute. But I think that's what happened I think that's what happened here with,
Oh, yeah. I've done it. Sure, you've done it. We've all done it. It happens.
But yeah, that's the only questionable thing. I'm like, really? Randall? You thought he was gonna,
Like, hey, look, I'm desperate. I need to get rid of this child and just want everything to go back to normal, all right? I know Randall's a scumbucket, but...
Scumbucket. I like that. So Mike predictably gets kidnapped, and then Sully's like, shit! And then I kind of forget what happens after this scene. I mean, I know there's the scene where Boo runs off with the kid, she loses her little eyes, and, but I forget exactly what happens right after, so Jacob, I'll let you take this one over again.
Alrighty. What does happen? Damn. So he gets captured by Randall, and then... Oh, wait. We skipped something before. This is where Boo runs off, and then Sully goes to this area where they chop up all the garbage.
Oh my god! Wait, I thought that was after this scene. I guess I forgot. Oh lord.
But no, it's before. It just came up in mind. So Sully thinks Boo is getting smashed and destroyed by this whatever it's called. And his reactions are hilarious. He's like, oh, looking. Then he faints. Then he faints again.
It's hilarious, but it's also really sad because he thinks that she's getting chopped up, and he's just all horrified.
Yeah.
like in hindsight, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I was a psychopath when I was a kid. Because I didn't have full context of what was going on, so I'm like, but I was just like, I felt horrible for Sully, even though it is funny, because Boo's fine, she's over there.
Yeah.
She's in the garbage.
His facial reactions also were very funny, but in hindsight, it's very sad.
Yeah, I just...
I start to really like this kid.
Yeah, I know, and he gets the little, bail, and he goes over to Mike, he's just devastated, and Mike's just like, dude, what's wrong? Where's the kid? And he's like, he can barely say it, and then he hears her voice, he's like, I can hear her voice. He's like, wait, I can hear her voice too. Is she in there? And then there she is with all the kids, and they're like, oh, okay, she's alive. Oh. And Sully is just thrilled, and then that's when we get that scene.
Oh, yes. Oh, now I know what happens after Mike gets captured. Alrighty. So after Mike gets captured, Sully and Boo try to find Mike and try to get him back. And so Boo finds this like secret entrance, and then that leads him to Mike, who has been captured by Randall, and he's about. And this machine they have is gonna like suck all the laughter out of him.
Oh my gosh, that thing was scary when I was a kid. You remember that, the scream extractor? I love how Randall is so proud of it too. He's just like, look at this. I call it the scream extractor.
Say hello to the scream extractor, and then Mike says, "Hi."
Oh, hi. And I love how Mike just puts in he resists with all of his might. He's like, nope, yeah, and then it turns off.
Yeah, Sully found the power button. They're like, oh, unplug.
Yeah, and now we're at one of my favorite bits of the movie is Randall goes to check the power. And then Fungus comes over. He's like, I'm not supposed to fraternize with people who are part of Randall's evil plan. And he's like, yo, I have a car. I have like a really nice car. You can have it if you let me go. And then that's when he says that. And then he's about to, oh shit, Kitty. Oh, sorry. My cat came in. Anyway, he's like, okay, we're gonna get this puppy going, and then he goes, yep! and then, this is the real kicker. So, then he turns the machine on, comes back, and it's just sucking the screams out of Fungus, the poor guy. It's just, and he's like, what happened? He's like, he like points. He's like, he like falls over.
Oh, poor Fungus.
I know, it's funny, but it's also like, God, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. That looks horrible.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. Maybe Guy Gardner, but yeah.
Oh, my God. You really hate Guy Gardner. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yes, I do. With a passion.
But no, just like, oh my God, that's horrible. But it's also really funny. And also, Fungus is played by Frank Oz of Yoda fame. I didn't know that.
How did I not know that? Huh.
But yeah, Randall says he's gonna kidnap children, extract screams from them using this device, the scream extractor, and then he goes after that, and then that's when they finally are like, okay, we should have just done this in the first place. We're gonna take her to Waternoose to see what's going on, and then turns out Waternoose, yes, you bastard. Turns out he was in on the whole scheme.
Wow, why am I not surprised?
Well, I mean, why do you say that? I was caught by surprise when I first saw it. I was like, oh, he's a good guy.
This is where I'm kind of judging a book by its cover. A big-ass fire like that, yeah.
Okay, fine. But yeah, I like how they take the kid, and then it turns out they're being exiled into... He's like, wait, that's not Boo's door. He's like, oh, I know, it's yours. And then he pushes them into the Himalayas!
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself, though. But I like how Waternoose is not happy at the fact that he had to exile Mike and Sully, because he actually liked them.
Yeah. But because the kid's like, I have to. Job state.
Yeah, like his whole thing is that as we've learned earlier in the movie, there's been a crisis going on with the energy, so now he's running along with this scheme so that he can keep his business going.
Yes.
Which is, really fucked up. But it is what it is, right? Of course, Sully ends up opening a door. He's like, no, and he's like, great, now you got it. It's like, now we're exiled.
We're now in the human world.
He's like, we're now in the human world. And then this is when we see a very imposing figure coming in, and then that's when we hear the epic line, "Welcome to the Himalayas!"
The abominable snow.
Another fun just like thing about this world being so like just the attention to detail. I love how the Yeti is explained that this was just an exiled monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like they even mentioned Bigfoot later or earlier in the movie.
Like abominable.
It's like abominable. And he's like super friendly too. That's funny. He's played by Pixar mainstay John Ratzenberger, who's played characters like the fish from the fish who makes the signs from Finding Nemo. He was the Underminer. He was Pig, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Ham from.
He was Ham from Toy Story. So yes, a big Pixar mainstay.
Oh yes.
And I love how he's super friendly. He makes snow cones.
His limit. Don't worry, it's not yellow snow.
Jeez. I was like, yeah, I know what it looks like, but it's lemon. He's like, oh, okay. And Mike, who's already had a pretty bad day of it, he is not pleased with the fact that he is now in the Himalayas.
And then Sully's all sad because he scared Boo.
Oh, damn it! I forgot about that scene. I forgot about that scene where he.
Yeah.
So earlier, they were doing a demonstration, and then Sully comes in, and Water News keeps harassing him to show him how it's done, and then he does it and scares the living crap out of Boo. Very sad scene, but it's very well done.
Very well done.
You really feel sad because he's like, "What did I do? I just scared her." And then I love how that's the moment where he realizes, "Oh, this is what I do." It's kind of fucked up, actually.
I scare children. This is what I do. And they realize it's like it scared Boo when he's grown to like really care for Boo. It's just very sad.
Yeah. And that's when he realizes, like, man, maybe scaring isn't the answer. And, okay. So. Alright. So. So they end up chilling out. I love how Mike just gets all shacked up in his like, what is it? It's like gloves. He has his kitchen mitts on again, and he's like trying to warm himself up. He's hilarious. He's just
like he hasn't had a miserable day already.
Yeah, he's freezing his ass off, and then there's Sully sulking in the corner, and Mike just is like, you know what? I'm done with you, bro.
Like, all because of a stupid kid. Now because of you, we're stuck in this frozen wasteland. And Abominable's like, wasteland? I think you need Wonderland.
Yeah, I know. Abominable just loves it out here in the Himalayas, and it's one of those things that makes you wonder, what did he do to end up over there? Because, I mean, in Monsters University, he's the male guy, so, I mean, like, you know, but it makes you wonder, like, what did he do?
Yeah, we're all curious.
But, yeah, Sully's sad, and then he just is like, I'm gonna go get Boo, and he's all like, what? How are you gonna do that? It's like, dude, it's nighttime. You know, kids are gonna be afraid by the, you know, monster's gonna be working that point. So what happens next, Jacob? I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, so, Mike is, building, like, he's building something to, like, get him there faster, because Abominable said it'll take 3 days to get there, to get back to, their monster world. And, so Sully, goes out, but he says, we need to do whatever it takes to get Boo. Then Mike says, you're on your own, pal. Then Mike leaves on his own. And then he finds the cabin, and then he finds the house where he can go back to the monster house. Then we run into George again, 2319.
I like it. He goes 23, and he throws him in there, and he's like,
It's like, not this time. 23. Yep. Ain't happening again. Yeah,
And-
so much for George and I are like brothers.
So then they're about to do Boo with the scream extractor, and I like how Water News is like, he's a better scarer than you'll ever be, and he's all like, yeah, well, we're gonna get the stuff out of her now. And
then Sully comes at the perfect time.
And then Sully comes in to save the day, and then they end up having a little fight. And the climax of this movie?
Yes.
You could say? I love the climax of this movie. I mean, Pixar is great at climaxes, you should say.
They really are. They really are. Not only are they great at tugging at your heartstrings, but they're also great at climaxes.
Okay, so what all happens? So Mike ends up saving the day, destroys the machine, and rescues Boo. And then he ends up fighting. Randall, and I love how Randall's just kicking his ass, and then Mike, of course, comes back because, of course, they're boys. You can't leave them behind. And he's like, "Look, I know I said that I wouldn't join you, but I was mad. All right." And then he starts and then Randall starts choking him out. He's like, "Hey man, I'm spilling my heart out to you, okay? Can you at least listen to me?" And then he just gets mad, and he throws the snowball right at Randall, and he goes, whap!
Hey, it's Randall. And he realizes, Randall is attacking me.
He's like, oh, that's what was okay.
Yeah, I was being attacked.
And then Sully's just like, ugh. Thank you, Mike. He's like trying to help me. He's like, can you stop that? I'm trying to open my heart out to you right now. And well, you know how that go. And you know how well that went.
Oh yes.
So then they go on the adventure to find Boo's door, and oh boy, this is probably the best sequence of this movie.
Oh boy.
Yep, let me tell you, it's action-packed, the creativity is just on level, and it's so intense.
I know.
They're, hopping from door to door to trying to find Boo's door, and I like how they go into, Paris, they, fall over, I love how they play with the camera. It's great. I love it.
The intensity, too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that too. I have a bad fear of heights, so it didn't really help me.
Not at all, no.
So what happens, Jacob? I'll push it back to you.
Alrighty, so Mr. Water News is, oh yes, Randall is chasing them down, and they grab onto a door, and then we get to see where the doors leading to the children's room go to. And it's a very exciting sequence. And they go from door to door trying to escape from Randall. And
they go to the Himalayas. They go to the Himalayas, or they go to where go to the Himalayas to go Paris and some other places I can't think of at the moment.
And they go on where they fall upside down.
Yeah.
Then Sully accidentally falls on Mike. He's like, "Oh, sorry."
He picks him up. And then, but Randall's right on him. He's about to jump on him, and but they end up getting the Boo's door, and they end up tracking down the Boo's door, and but Randall ends up catching up to him, and he starts fighting him, and Randall's kicking his ass again. But don't worry, because Boo ends up finally finding her balls, and ends up picking him up and just totally demolishes Randall.
You're like, fuck yeah.
He's like, don't worry, Sullivan, I'm gonna take good care of the kid. And then Boo's like, I'm gonna fuck some shit up.
Like, I'm not scared of you anymore.
And then she just starts smacking him around, and she like makes him change colors, and then she ends up like knocking him down, and then don't worry, because I like how Sully just like he's like handling him like a boa constrictor. And then back to one of my favorite parts. Then another favorite moment of this movie is when they throw him into the door. He's like, all right, we're gonna do it. He's like, no. He's like, all right, you gotta get it. He's gonna shoot him in there, and they throw him in. He's like, and he's out of here. And then Randall's like comes up, and then he's like in some like trailer with some like hicks. He's like, "Hey, Ma, look, there's a gator." And he's like, "Let me get my shovel." Walks over, just beats the crap out of Randall.
Another gator, give me that shovel.
He just beats the hell out of him. Oh
man, satisfying.
Yeah, and they end up breaking the door, so he won't be able to come back for a little while. Anyway.
No, not for some time.
No. Yeah, I love that. Mom, look, there's a gator. Give me that shovel. Bam, bam, and just knocks him out. I forget all the lines he says, but I love it's almost like a baseball game, and they throw him into the door.
Oh, it's so funny.
Jeez. I also love the scene earlier when she's like, Mike, make her laugh, and then he like drums up, because I love slapstick comedy, so you know I'm a sucker for slapstick. So he does the old he drops down, he just hits himself in his crotch area. I love me a good crotch punch. All right, it's in comedy, you know, it's a good one. Get you laughing.
Yeah, it's funny. All right.
But yeah, I do love slapstick quite a bit. So they end up accompanying her to the so they end up going back to the place, but don't worry, Water Noose has come back with the CDA to try and arrest them so he can like frame them like, oh, they're the ones doing it. But don't worry, Mike's got a plan. Mike's like, oh, hey, welcome back. And all I can say is he opens his mouth, there's the sock there, and he throws it on the CDA guys. 2319. And then Water News is like, wait, they're going over there. He's like, oh, I guess I'll do it myself. And then to quote the Mad Titan Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. So he ends up chasing him around. He goes on a chase. He's like, give me that child. And then he ends up locking him in and puts Boo to bed. He's like, hey. He's like, Boo. He's like, hey. He's like, oh, don't worry, they're not gonna get you now. And then there's Water Noose. He's like, come on, leave her alone. She's home now. And he's like. And then he says the old famous line, I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
Like, damn, dark.
Yeah, I know. And he's like, and I'm not going to let anyone, including you, get in my way. Slaps him in the face. And he's about to get him. Turns out, Sully actually pulled a pretty impressive dupe on him.
Oh, yes. The greatest dupe ever.
Turns out it was the kid robot from earlier. And I love Mike, ever the showman. He's all like, you know, I noticed a lot of things wrong with that little demonstration there. And he goes,
rewind, shall we?
He's like, let me show you my favorite part. Let's replay my favorite part, shall we? And he's all like, I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. I'll kidnap this children, or I fucked up the line. And they end up arresting him. So I'm like, yeah, good plan there, Sully. I mean, there is a part of me that's like, wait, why that? And then I realize, oh yeah, it's because of the that's where the backup door is. the same room. That's where the backup door is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I thought you got confused there for a moment. You didn't say anything, so...
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I was like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, well, why? Wait, how did he get fooled by the door? And I'm like, oh, wait, that's where they put the backup door. That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they end up... so he gets arrested, and he goes like, I hope you're proud of yourself, Sullivan. This crisis is gonna be over, and this company's gonna be in the toilet because of you. Close.
Cool.
What?
Oh, I said home. Like, and that's what you get. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. Shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like, damn. I guess that sludge really, I bet it, like, rewired his brain or something like that.
Probably made him go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
They need, like, an FDA in the Monsters, Inc. universe, because there is something wrong with that sludge coffee, or whatever the hell it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I know it's not coffee. I'll tell you that.
It's their equivalent to coffee, and I don't know what's in that, but I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. So, it turns out, they end up introducing the boss, and it turns out the boss is... Roz. She's like, I've been working this joint for 3 years, and you boys finally exposed it. And they're like, oh, cool. I like how Sully's just like, oh, cool. All right.
They're like, Roz?
Yeah, I know. Everyone's shocked that it's Roz, out of all people.
We were all shocked, too.
Yeah, I know. It was like, huh? Like, Roz? Okay. Roz ends up allowing Sully to go to Sinbu home, which leads to one of the most emotional parts of this movie. Oh my god. Tear my freaking heart out. Jesus. I wonder if it's like Narnia, I wonder if it's like Narnia where like barely any time passes in the human world.
Yeah. That's a question, yeah.
It's sort of like a thing where I'm like, so did Boo just go missing for a night, or is it like the time works differently in the human world than it does in the monster world? I don't know. It's never explained. But, that would be a curious thing to explore, actually.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, if they made a sequel, though, well, I'll get to that. One of the saddest scenes in this movie. Just like, Jacob, I'll let you take this one.
Okay, so, mission is accomplished that they are returning Boo home, but Ross asks to bring the door shredder, and Sully says, you mean I can't see her again? And then that's when he realizes, like, yeah, you can return her home, but you can't see her again. Then Raza says, I'll give you 5 minutes to say your goodbyes and all that. And, fuck me.
Oh my god, one of the most moving things that Pixar's done, I think.
I know, and one of the very few scenes that almost brings tears to my eyes. And I'm a pretty emotionless person, but
jeez.
Not in like I don't care about anybody. I just don't cry that much. But
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. It's hard to get me to cry in a movie.
But most Pixar films, and this scene in particular, almost brings tears to my eyes. Because, like, my God. So, Mike says goodbye. He tries to be super professional.
He tries to be cool about it.
Well, so long, kid. Mike Wazowski. And then she gives him a hug. It's like, aw. It's like, oh, okay. Aw, it's been fun, Boo. He's like, go ahead, go grow up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
Oh, jeez. And then with Sully and her saying goodbye to each other, oh my god, just talk about tear my heart out of my chest right now.
Yeah, just tear it out and just like squish it and just eat it. I don't know. Sheesh.
I don't want to know really, but Jesus.
Boo's all excited to be back in her room, and then Sully tucks her in the bed, and Boo points at her closet, and then Sully says, "Nothing's coming out of the closet to scare you anymore, right?" And then this is where they say their goodbyes. Then Boo says, "Kitty." Then Sully says, "Kitty has to go." And,
oh my God.
In fact, John Goodman actually cried while he was recording that line.
Oh really? Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. What was he like thinking of his daughter or something?
No, he was just so driven by the story and by the characters, like it just got to him.
Mm-hmm.
Where he actually cried himself, and they kept that in the movie, which thank God makes the performance even better. And what makes this even more heartbreaking is the music.
Oh my gosh, when she opens the door and it's empty. Oh.
Yes. The fucking music does not help. Does not help at all. Like, you want me to cry my eyes out? Sheesh. Yeah, she opens the door thinking Sully will be there, but he's not. Then she says, "Kitty."
Yeah, it's just oh. God, again, just stab me right in the heart. Red Wedding, Game of Thrones style. Just jab that knife in my heart a couple of times. Why don't you? Jeez.
It's like, ugh. The one thing Pixar will never be bad at doing is tugging at your heartstrings.
Oh my God! I mean, Up first 10 minutes. I'm just like, you could have just made that into a movie. I'm like 5 stars right there. But anyways,
yeah, that's a 5-star movie already. Like,
I'll save that for the Up review.
Or Toy Story films, or Monsters Inc. This scene where he says goodbye to Boo. You're like,
oh my God! Like this, and like when Andy, his final goodbye to the toys in Toy Story 3, and like this scene. Oh my God! It's just
like top 2 of scenes where it just makes me cry my eyes out.
Just like tugs at your heartstrings,
It's like, this is what emotion feels like.
Jeez. Sully ends up saying goodbye to her, and he realizes, like, oh boy, what are we gonna do now? Waternoose was kind of a dick, but you know what? He was right. What are we gonna do about this power situation? And he thinks back to her laughing, and he's like, I got it.
Like, instead of scaring the kids, why don't we make them laugh?
Oh my gosh, yes. And then then we get a repeat of the first scene of the movie. It's Mike this time, and you can just see him lurching up. And ironically,
hello.
So Sully is the best scarer of the crew. He's the best one who gets him to laugh. That's just great. I love that.
I love that.
He's the best out of the guys who gets him to laugh. He's like, oh yeah, hey. He's like, oh yeah, how you doing? You living your life? Yeah, no. It's like trying to do like a stand-up bit, and then the kid's just like, what the hell? And he's like, he's just like, this is degrading. Gets up.
Of course, that was the ball.
Shoots
that was the ball.
shoots the microphone in his mouth. Waits a second, then burps it out, and then the kid just cracks up. And he goes in, he's like, good job, Mike. And Sully's the guy who runs the company now. He's got his suit on. And it just makes you think, you're like, if Waternoose had just thought about it for a second, this whole thing would have been averted if he had just thought about it for a second.
Yeah, but he said, I'll kill 1,000 children before I let this company die. Like,
okay.
It's like, how about we make them laugh? No, let's kill the children.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
Like, Jesus. But yeah.
So now they're trying to make children laugh to collect money. And it's been so successful, they get on a magazine. But Mike's face is covered.
It doesn't matter, because he's happy still.
I was about to say, but don't worry, he's not upset. He's just pleased that he's on a magazine. I'm on a magazine! and Mike and Sully's just like, okay, you're a strange man, Mike. um, but he says, hey, Mike, or he says, hey, Sully, I got something I need to show you. And he's like, oh, okay. Turns out that Mike, being the good friend that he is, decided to rebuild Boo's door. And he managed to do it. It took a little bit, took a few weeks, but he managed to do it. And he ends up gifting Sully with the final piece of the door.
Oh man.
Oh my God! You know, if the scene where they hug and they runs out the door, if that didn't tug your heartstrings, this scene will. He's just so thrilled. He opens the door and Boo is there once again, and she just says "Kitty," and that's the end of the movie.
Satisfying endings ever.
God, I love it. I love it. It feels so earned too. Like it doesn't feel like
does.
It doesn't feel like a.
Yeah, this is a film where it just ties up all the loose ends and just ends on a very satisfying note. Man, I love it.
But
Oh man, and Mike Wazowski, what a true friend right there.
Oh my God! If I couldn't love their friendship anymore, just like Mike is the greatest friend of all time. I love this man, or this monster, I should say.
I know. Yeah, I went through all that wood to put it back together just for you.
Oh my gosh! It's just like, it's such a moving thing.
Damn, I love this movie.
It's just, oh man, it's just like jeez, it's such a beautiful, moving thing. I can't say any much more about it, aside from that.
I know. I love it. Oh man, I love it.
But yeah, that was Monsters Inc. I mean, they did do a couple of shorts after, like Mike's new car that he's very proud of, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that one in a long time, but Jacob saw it recently. Jacob, what do you think of this?
Oh, it's a great little short. It's so hilarious too.
He's so proud of that car. He just wants to drive it. And if I remember right, I think it gets like destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike's just like,
his old car back.
Yeah, and he gets his old car back.
Oh. It's somewhere on YouTube.
I'm sure it's somewhere. What? Then the bloopers. I love them. But yeah, that was Monsters Inc. Man, great movie. One of Pixar's best.
Indeed, at least definitely my top 5 for sure.
Though,
oh man, so many great Pixar films.
Though I'm kind of mad that the sequel that we've wanted to. I know there's people who want a Monsters Inc. movie. They got a Monsters Inc. series, which I'll admit I haven't seen yet. They barely promoted that thing.
I know. I saw a trailer. I was like, I didn't know this. Monsters at Work. I was like, okay. Wish it was a sequel, but it's something.
Oh, apparently Billy Crystal was offered the part of Buzz Lightyear and regretted turning it down, so that's when he took the role of Mike. Imagine how different that would have been.
That would have been extremely different. Thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, Tim Allen was the better choice.
I was about to say, yeah, Tim Allen, man, he is Buzz Lightyear. I'm just gonna say
really
that.
Is. That would have been a very different direction.
But you know what? I'm glad that he turned down Buzz Lightyear, because we probably wouldn't have gotten Mike Wazowski if not for that. So
no,
it might have been a blessing in disguise, I think.
Yeah, think about it. We wouldn't have Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear, and we wouldn't have Billy Crystal as Mike Wazowski if that happened.
But man, I love this movie. And I'm kind of mad that the sequel series came out and they barely promoted the damn thing.
Yeah. The only thing I saw from it was like a couple of photos and a trailer.
Yeah, it's just like a couple of trailers. Maybe.
But I actually did watch it.
Oh, you did? What'd you think?
It it was great to see Mike and Sully back and to see what they were doing after the events of the first movie. But we shouldn't have just gotten the sequel.
Oh, all right. All right.
It's a fun series, but we should have just gotten the sequel. I'm just saying.
All right. I'll check that out when I find the chance. I haven't seen it. I just saw like a trailer. I'm like, why the hell aren't they? Why the hell are they not like promoting this thing more? Monsters Inc.'s one of the best Pixar movies. I want to see that.
Come on.
Like, come on, guys, make it happen. You know.
Market the series better.
We did get a monster. It's like, yeah, we did get Monsters University, but I'm like, I wanted to see the sequel to this movie.
Yeah, like, I wanted a sequel, but the prequel is pretty fun.
Yeah, no, the prequel's fun. It has its moments, but yeah, Monsters Inc. Love this movie. Not much else to say. Why the hell they didn't promote the sequel series? Don't know, but kind of wish we just got the sequel out of it. But you know, I'm just just me. It's just me.
Yeah, we shouldn't have just gotten the sequel. I'm just saying. But hey, the sequel series, pretty fun.
Though this movie did get nominated for Best Score, but sadly they lost to Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring. And you know what? I would be mad, but Fellowship of the Ring, great film, great score. I'm not displeased about that.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I mean, Fellowship of the Ring has a great score, but Monsters Inc. Oh boy, the score fucking out.
But yeah, I love Monsters Inc. Sludge and all. Not much else to say about it.
Oh yes, other than damn near perfect movie.
Oh my god.
My top 5 of Pixar movies. One of my favorite animations of all time.
Excuse me.
Mike and Sully. One of my favorite friendships of all time.
Oh my gosh, I want to talk more about that. I love their friendship in this movie. Just one of my favorite friendships in all of movies.
Like, I love them so much, like, I want to see more of these characters. And I'm like, hey, we got Monsters at Work, the sequel series. At least I get to see more of Mike and Sully. Like
Frozone and Mr. Incredible are cool, but like Mike and Sully, like they are the heart of this movie.
Oh, they are, absolutely. You get John Goodman and Billy Crystal, there you go.
Oh man, but yeah, I love Monsters Inc. It's a great movie, and it still holds up quite nicely, even though it is my age. It is 21 years old.
Oh man.
Hard to. It's our age. You're 21, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you turned in January, didn't you?
Yes, 21 in January.
Yes, I turned 21 in March. So yeah, we're about as old as this movie is. So you know, it's a weird thing.
Oh man.
But I love this movie.
Yeah, everything I said about it is everything that it's exactly what I think about Monsters Inc.
It's tender, heartfelt, funny, clever. Love the world building in this. It's such a great world. I want to see more of it. It's one of those you see it and you want more of it once you've started getting to it.
Yes, I want to see more of these characters. I want to see Mike and Sully more.
Like, I want to see what else is going on in the Monster City. Like, I want to see what other characters are in that city.
Yeah, I want to see more of the world. That's how much I love this movie and how well they have set up this world around it.
But for what we got, I love Monsters Inc. Great film. Highly recommended. 10 out of 10 for me.
10 out of 10 for me too.
Oh man, I feel so good finally talking about this movie. I you know, yeah, kind of wish we did it earlier, but you know what? I'm glad we waited till now.
Oh yes, it was worth it because Monsters Inc. Whew.
You know, oh boy, got to chill, boy. Anyway, so yeah. We got some time. Other movies we've seen recently. Jacob, have you seen any other Have you seen movies recently? Like any of them?
I've seen quite a bit of movies.
Oh,
I
yes.
finally saw The Northman.
Oh, yes. What'd you think?
Epic as fuck.
That's fair.
Is it? If there was one word to describe The Northman, it'd be epic. It's an Eggers movie. It's dark. It's bloody. Beautifully shot. Well directed. I need to watch it again to see where it ranks on my Eggers list. I will say The Lighthouse is still my favorite of his. I haven't seen The Witch yet, but The Northman, Eggers has done it again.
I quite enjoyed it myself. I thought it was a really good movie, though. I will say it might be I don't love it as much as The Witch and The Lighthouse so far, but I do want to see it again to see if my mind has changed or if my opinions changed or anything. But no, not right now. I do enjoy The Northman, though. I think it's a very good movie. I wish Hollywood would make more of these. I mean, as much as I love the MCU and whatnot, I wish that studios would, take more risks with these types of films. But we definitely a new Hollywood would be very well needed in this time.
Indeed. I also saw Glass Onion in theaters.
I'm envious because I didn't get around to seeing it. What did you think? Does it live up to Knives Out?
Yes, it does. This was a ton of fun to watch, especially in theaters. If you get a chance to see it in theaters, it's only out for 1 week, please do, because it made the experience even better. And I think I've heard it's like a spin-off, but I don't know if it's like a sequel or a spin-off, but I've heard that. But it's a very fun movie to watch. I loved it.
Yeah, I know. I was looking forward to Knives Out 2, or Glass Onion, as it's called, for whatever reason. Did they explain why it's called Glass Onion?
Yes, you'll have to watch your movie and they'll explain it to you.
Okay.
No spoilers.
All right, that's fair. But yeah, no, I wanted to see Glass Onion, but I've been busy this week. Thanksgiving happened, aka my least favorite holiday. I don't like Thanksgiving, but don't get mad at me. But
I'm not. I don't like it either, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm picky eater, so that makes it suck, and I don't like a lot of the Thanksgiving foods, so it's a big struggle when it comes to.
I just don't see the point in Thanksgiving. Just eat food. That's it.
Yeah, it's a good time to spend with the family and whatnot. I get that, but and that's a good part of it. But I'm just not a fan of the food. And everyone's like, "Oh, you don't like it?" I'm like, "Fuck you."
Fair enough.
But anyways, I don't want to rant too much about Thanksgiving. But you know what time it is? It's Christmas time, baby.
Hey!
Favorite time of the year?
Oh, yes. Other than Halloween, Christmas, yes.
I do love Christmas a little bit more than Halloween, but I do love me some Christmas. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I saw Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh yeah, me too.
And you know what? I'm like, I was worried about this movie. I'm like, oh boy, this movie's gonna suck, or either this film's gonna suck, or it might surprise me. And I'm happy to say, it surprised me. I was very pleased with it. Villain is not as good as Killmonger, sadly. But I did like the direction that this series was going, or not this series, this movie was going, and I think it was pretty well done for the most part. A strong 4-star, one of the better MCU Phase 4 movies, because I've been kind of trying to take a break from the MCU. It's been kind of a struggle because they keep tickling my balls a lot. But they keep going like, they keep showing me the sexy content. I'm like, calm down, Disney. I'm trying to take a break right now.
Yeah, Phase 4 for me has been very disappointing so far, but but Wakanda Forever ended it off on a very satisfying note.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, we'll save it for a review, but I enjoyed it. I was very surprised. It took it in a direction I was not expecting, and I say that in a good way. Carlton, I literally texted him because he was the one who was championing this movie, because I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, Chadwick's gone, and I don't know how the hell they're going to pull this off. He's like, don't worry, bro. They're going to do it, man. They're going to do it. And I'm all like, I don't know. And I see the trailer. I'm like, okay, maybe they might be able to do it. He's like, I told you, bro. I saw the movie, and I'm like, I literally walked, tail between my legs. I'm just like, okay, fine. They pulled it off nicely. He's like, I fucking told you, man. I'm like, suck.
It's like Danny Carlton.
I mean, he's not gonna convince me on. Oh yeah, I guess he was kind of mad at my comments about Zack Snyder the other day.
That's funny.
And all I'll say is, sorry. Please stop slapping me. That's not appreciative. Not actually slapping me. He's just, he's role play slapping me, which don't do that. But I don't take back my words. But sorry it made you upset. That's all I'll say.
Ain't gonna change my mind, but I'm sorry.
You're not changing my mind, but I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Oh, what else have I seen? Not much. This has been kind of a slump year for me. I haven't really felt the itch to go see as many movies as I would usually go see. Because there was a couple I'm like, this could be fun. I did see Don't Worry, Darling, which was kind of a misfire. But, I got the oogle at Florence Pugh for a few hours, so I'm like, you know what? I'm satisfied.
But Harry Styles stole her, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fucking Harry Styles. Jesus Christ. Fuck him.
Yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of movies this year. Kind of lazy, but there are two more I at least want to see before the end of this year. I do want to see The Menu.
That movie looks fun.
It does. Looks like another Knives Out type of movie.
You know what I want to see? And my uncle's stepmom has it. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Because I didn't see it in theaters, and I want to see it before the year's over. Because everyone's like, oh my god, it's a great movie. I'm like, I gotta see this now.
Yes, it is. It's my favorite movie of this year so far.
Mine is The Batman, but yes, that is a. I do want to see it because I'm a sucker for A24. I'm really awful at going to see their movies, but I'm pulling for them.
Oh yes, I need to see more of them. The first A24 film I saw was The Green Knight, and now Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, I thought the first one you saw was Moonlight.
Oh wait, no. Oh no, I did not see Moonlight in theaters.
Oh, are you saying that was the first A24 one you saw in theaters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Green Knight. No, it was The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse I saw in theaters. Then The Green Knight. Then Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Jeez, man.
I was like, okay, so I saw at least 3.
I've only seen The Green Knight and Uncut Gems in theaters. The rest of them I've seen on Netflix and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw The Green Knight. That was a great experience in the theaters, I have to say.
Indeed.
That was a really fun theater experience.
Oh, it was. I couldn't agree more.
At least it was very dazzling for me. My dad didn't really like it, but I was just entranced by it throughout the entirety of watching it, at least in my view.
I say Lighthouse was the best theater experience for A24 for me.
I still regret that I didn't see that movie in theaters. My first Eggers was The Northman. I saw it this year, and I was really excited. I told the guy next to me, I'm like, this is my first Eggers in theaters, man. He's like, awesome. I was really excited. I was not let down, but that was a great theater experience. The Northman.
Oh yeah.
Seeing it in theaters, oh my god, it was fantastic. Even if the movie didn't quite didn't quite hit on all cylinders for me, the theater experience was amazing.
I will say I've had quite a bit of great theater experiences this year. Top Gun Maverick was a great theater
Oh my
experience.
god, yes. That was just the biggest surprise of the year.
Oh, mine too. I was like, a great legacy sequel. Rare.
A good blockbuster that isn't from Marvel. Wow! You know, like, another one of my favorite was No Way Home, because of course, that was probably the most fun I've had in a theater in a long time.
That was the greatest theater experience I had. Yes, even over Endgame.
Oh, I was about to say Endgame as well. That was a great theater experience. Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine this the other day. I'm like, man, the MCU or I think I was telling you this last episode. I'm like, man, MCU just don't feel the same right now. That's why I'm taking a break. But also, I'm kind of getting burned out of the Marvel movies a little bit, so I'm trying to take a break.
Oh, yes.
It's almost like they're shooting at the wall to see what'll stick.
Mm-hmm. Like Moon Knight's a prime example. Like, let's go more psychological route.
I actually liked Moon Knight. There were some people like, oh, it's lame, bro. And I'm like, it's fun. I wish there were longer episodes than 6. Marvel. I'm still mad about that. Don't judge me. Just... Why is it 6? Why are there 6 episodes? Almost everything. WandaVision was 9 episodes, and then She-Hulk. What a masterpiece that was. That was 9 episodes. You kidding me? I just had to get that out of my system. I apologize.
We're probably gonna make that merch. Why are there only 6 episodes?
Why? Just why? Why are there only 6? That makes no sense. And then Daredevil, which luckily they gave 18 episodes to, for whatever reason. Why did you give them 18? Just give them 12. That's fine. I don't want a bunch of filler. But hey, they could do it in 18 episodes. You don't know. But the episode numberings are so inconsistent. It's ridiculous.
6 episodes. Then the other one's 9. Then the other one's 13. Then the other one's 55. I don't know. 55 episodes. Go for it.
Why? I don't know. It drives me up the wall. Like, if... Jesus Christ. I don't know. It drives me up the wall. Because I want this... Because some of the stories kind of come off as half-baked. Like, Loki, they managed to make it work in 6 episodes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other ones, it's kind of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier made it work. Despite the setbacks. But it's like, oh, why? Why are you only going 6 episodes?
It's like Hawkeye. That needed more episodes.
That needed more episodes. Hawkeye. Because Hawkeye was fun, but it needed more episodes. Same thing with Moon Knight. Same thing with... God, what else came out during... What other miniseries have come out? I gotta check now, because I forgot all of them now.
There's so many. Miss Marvel, which I haven't started.
I know. Ty was telling me it was really good, and I'm like, oh, I might need to check this out, but I haven't gotten around to it. I don't know. Marvel, why do you abuse me so? Black Adam apparently came out, which I'm not seeing that, because I'm fucking done with the DCEU.
I haven't seen it.
I saw a trailer for the new Shazam movie, which I might see, because I actually liked that first one.
Oh yeah, the first one was quite a bit of fun.
Though everyone was like, oh, it's too Marvel-y. It's like, guys, Marvel has something that works, okay? It's not a bad thing to take inspiration from them. But, you know, if you want your fucking weird-ass grimdark shit that Zack Snyder was doing, sorry, Carlton, not sorry. Just, fucking, God, I hate the DCEU.
A debate that'll be.
Lord, I'm dreading the day we do Dawn of Justice, because it's just going to be me and him yelling at each other about why the movie is good and bad.
Yeah.
We've had a couple. We've had a couple of really intense arguments about it.
Oh, yeah,
We're both pretty stubborn assholes, so, you know.
I know that. I know.
Oh my gosh.
Boy.
Like, though I will admit that doing the Snyder Cut was fun. Though I was like, this is just fine. And Carlton's like, it's better than fine. I'm all like, dude.
And then you got drunk.
Oh, yeah, I did get drunk. Because I'm like, I'm like, sober's overrated. I'm going to try and do this drunk. And, well, look how well that went.
It went perfectly.
Well, it went perfectly for you. But,
Yeah.
yeah, for you.
And then that's where he discovered our hate boner for Guy Gardner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like, why Guy Gardner? Like, I didn't know anything about Guy Gardner, like, before then.
Redhead stepchild, yeah.
I'm like, dude, Jon Stewart's my guy.
And then, yeah, lots of memorable things. Just get a black guy. Or I will die on that hill. Or Carlton ranting about Tyga, saying he prefers Guy over him.
Taika? Like Taika Waititi?
Yeah, Taika Waititi, because we know Carlton loves him.
Oh my god. His hate of him doesn't even make any sense. Like, okay, fine, he didn't like Thor Ragnarok. He didn't write the movie!
It's still funny, though.
It's like how he goes off about Iron Boy Jr. in Spider-Man Homecoming. He's like, oh, he needed the suit, but then Tony needs his suit. This whole freaking point of the movie!
Oh, the debates.
It's just like, you can hear us arguing about it a few episodes back where he was all like, oh, but doesn't Iron Man need his suit? Did you not see Iron Man 3? The whole freaking point of that movie was that it's not the suit that is his superpower. It's his mind. So, no, it's not hypocritical when he goes and says, if you can't wear the suit, you can't have it. It's just... Jesus Christ, that's the whole freaking point of the movie. That's the whole point of the movie. I went over this in Homecoming. You can watch it. You can be like, you can see how I'm making the points. No, he's all like, Iron Boy Jr. You know what? Fine. If you don't like it, fine. It's just... Ugh. It's the whole point of the movie, man. It's the whole point of the movie. It's not the suit that makes him the hero. Did you not get that when you were watching the movie? I'm not just saying this to Carl. I'm saying this to all the Iron Boy Jr. people. Like, did that not go through? Like, did that not process? Just, I know Jacob's loving this. It's just.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you were ganging up on me when I was mentioning this last episode or a few episodes ago. I'm like, bro.
Because I kind of agree.
You couldn't agree?
Because I kind of agree with Carlton. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, no. You're more diplomatic than Carlton. Carlton's just like, you're wrong! And I'm just like, oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair to everyone, but in that case, I was like, yeah, I kind of have to side with Carlton.
Yeah, okay, it's just like, at least we got Into the Spider-Verse, which was amazing, and,
That's true.
And we also got the Spider-Man game. Like, 2018 was a great year to be a Spider-Man fan.
It really was.
It just kind of sucks that Homecoming kind of got steamrolled by Into the Spider-Verse and the Spider-Man game.
It did. So when Homecoming came out, people liked it, but Into the Spider-Verse, you're like, holy shit, that was amazing.
I know.
People kind of forgot it.
Oh, man. I can't wait for Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, hell yeah.
Think
Can't
of
wait for next year for Spider-Man. We got the Spider-Man game coming out, and then the Across the Spider-Verse. Oh boy.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Oh, me too.
Because, I am a whore for Spider-Man. As you know, Jacob is too.
Yes, I am.
We did a whole series about it, so, you can go watch them.
Do it.
I think that's all I gotta say for right now. Oh, yes, I do have to pick a movie for next week. So, since we didn't do it last year, I thought, hey, Jacob, do you want to do a Christmas special this year?
Yes.
You sound unsure.
No, I had something in my throat, but hell yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh. But yeah, I'm like, hey, you want to do a Christmas special? And he's like, yes. So that's what we're going to do. Christmas, baby!
Oh, yeah!
Our first annual Brit and Jake Christmas special. We're going to be talking about Christmas movies all this month. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, boy.
I'm hoping
excited.
that we can get more Christmassy as the weeks go on.
Let's hope.
Anyway, so you want to know what my movie is? I mentioned it earlier.
What is it?
Die Hard.
Which is a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is, and because of the ambiguity, we're going to do it first, and we're going to build it to the Christmas. So, you know. Nah. It is a Christmas movie.
It is. It's a fact.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Die Hard. Is that cool? You've seen Die Hard, I'm hoping.
Oh, don't worry, I have.
You better have seen Die Hard. Oh my god.
No, I have not. I'm kidding.
Oh my lord. I bet you would have done it too. I'm like, what's a Die Hard? I'm like, what?
Like,
huh? Just to get the reaction.
What's Die Hard?
Oh jeez. Yep, the Bruce Willis movie. I'm probably gonna rewatch it because I haven't seen it since last Christmas actually, because my uncle was playing it when we were having Christmas celebration.
Ah.
But yeah, Die Hard. So we're gonna start out swinging, and plus I had wanted to talk about Die Hard for a while, so.
Ah, nice.
And talk about how it's great storytelling 101, but I'll save all that for next week. You know, if we get around to it. Hopefully we won't get busy again. You think you'll be busy next week?
No.
All right, then this Christmas special should go without without any debts. I'm excited.
Distraction.
Are you excited for Christmas?
Oh yes, I am.
My favorite time of the year, baby.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait. But I'm glad we talked about Monsters Inc. The great movie, and
oh yes.
Can't wait to get going on the Christmas spiel.
Oh, me too. It's gonna be exciting.
Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, Die Hard. All right, Jacob, take us away because you're doing the intro. You're doing the intro and outro this week.
Okie dokie. All right, this has been yet another episode of Brit and Jacob the movies. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Britton.
Right. And Britton.
We do it for the love of the movies.
Yes, we do.
All right. See you guys later.
See you later.